to the Weekend Sports Buzz with your hosts, Kelly Patrick, Tyler Bloyd, and Danielle Chilton on 1450, The Sports Buzz.
There have been questions here about the future of basketball at the Olympics and if it should be modified to ban NBA players since Team USA has been so dominant. But Kobe Bryant and crew came dangerously close to losing here to a point where it looked like their winning streak was in trouble. Against Lithuania, they had to come back in the fourth quarter. Team USA was behind. They pulled off a close win at the end, 99-94. Next up, the American men play Argentina on Monday.
What's going on, Louisville? We're here with the Weekend Sports Buzz. Myself, Tyler Bloyd, Kelly Patrick, Danielle Chilton's back this week. We let her take a week off last week. Brad Steen was in the studio. He's now in Pittsburgh. While Pittsburgh's in Cincinnati, he's not smart. We got a full show lined up for you guys today, though. We're going to first kick it off with our man at 10:30, Mark Blankenbaker. He's on the Saturday show with us. He was at the Louisville Open practice yesterday. We're going to get a little update from him, see how that went. Then at 11 o'clock, of course, our man Farrell Elliott from KFFSC.com to get our fantasy football fix of the week. That's honestly my favorite segment every week. I love talking about it. I know you do too. And then at 11:30, he missed out yesterday. He locked his keys in his house and couldn't get to his cell phone. Derek Abney will join us today since he couldn't make it yesterday, so we're excited to bring Derek on. Going to get a little update of what he's up to and, his thoughts of the UK program. But, of course, Matt led in with the Olympics there, the basketball. It was not on TV. We talked about it yesterday, how the programmings are just robbing, everyday Americans from watching their basketball team without having to pay extra, which I can't stand. It's stupid. But they won by 5 points, 99-94. Did either of you see highlights? Did y'all check out stuff? No.
I didn't see it. No,
I read about it. We host sports shows, but we pay attention to politics, and we talk about banking on our off time. No, God, it's just ridiculous.
Did you watch every second of the U.S. domination game? Did you watch it?
No, I think that was the boringest game ever.
Okay.
I watched
it. Was pretty fun.
I turned it back and forth. I just can't stand it, and that's why I like Matt's little start to the show there to 23 and younger, how it should be mandated. Maybe not, because we almost lost to Lithuania, who had Linus Kleza, a former Missouri player who's just awful. He's a bench player in the NBA. Basically, can keep his team in the game. He had 25 points. If it wasn't for LeBron himself, my favorite player, dominating, just like he did in Game 7 or the finals, Game 6 and whatnot, and we would have lost. Daniel, do you want 23 younger or not anymore? Mike, Matt, why are these mics cutting in and out?
It's not.
I'm not noticing. I'm not noticing it. They sound fine to me. I
just like to complain.
I think you just like to make up things just to make so.
No,
just for
Danielle. Do you want 23 and under?
No, but I mean,
before yesterday, did you care? Would you have been more up for it after an 87-point waxing?
Well, no. But at the same time, that's not. I mean, just as long as it's a level playing field, it's fine. As long as everyone else is by that same rule, that's fine for.
I agree with Danielle.
That's fine with me. I mean, it's whatever they want as their rules. I mean, it would be nice if you could have LeBron and all of them. But I'm just saying, you're going to have really good guys 23 and under. You can have an all-Kentucky team.
I know, that's what I'm saying. That'd be great. And I mean, even with the way Patino's recruiting the past couple of years, even maybe a couple of Louisville guys out there would be awesome. It would just be for the U.S. though, which I don't care. Spain just lost to whoever it was, a terrible team, Russia. I mean, I know Russia's going to be physical down low as usual there, but come on, Spain was supposed to be the team that challenged the U.S. to the gold. They got beat. They almost got beat by Great Britain, who shouldn't even be in the tournament. And the only reason they are is because they're hosting it. So I don't know. I don't like it. Kelly, what do you think? I know we've talked about it before.
Yeah, I'm all on board with. If America has the best American-born basketball players, we should dominate it every year. I don't want to manipulate the field unless every other country has to have 23 and under, that type of a rule, so you can't see, Serena Jasikavičius, who's 37, who played in the NBA for a while, come out when he's still good. But, I mean, it should be a level playing field, I think. If we're the best, we should dominate.
It's not a level playing field at all. Obviously.
What I mean is a fair playing field.
And we don't even have our best players in this team. This is a mediocre USA team right now. If you think about it, we could have Dwight Howard out there.
I wouldn't have a problem with it being somewhat maybe broken down if they say, well, America has this many guys in the country, this many people in the country, we need to give them 3 teams.
Well,
versus
Indonesia
this country
has
that has
110 million, and they only had like 30 in the Olympics, so I guess you can't really look at it like that.
You could.
Well, you look at things weird, like your medal count.
Rational.
Medal count. Do you want a point to decide who wins, or do you look directly at who's leading the medals?
Well, I don't.
Is it simple as that to you, or are you getting more in depth like Kelly over
The
here?
way it always is medal count is going to prove who. But at the same time, to me, that's not. There are certain events that are bigger than others. To me.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, you got to win the women's gymnastics. People love the women's gymnastics. You got to win the big races, the big
100
money,
meter,
the
which
ones
we'll
that
talk
people
about.
are watching. You've got to win those. That to me is what makes an Olympics. No one's going to remember the medal count for years to come. No one's going to remember.
My whole thing is
agree.
I don't like when I hear U.S. is in the lead for the medal count. They also have the most golds. Or, I mean, that makes sense. If that's what they say, and it is the case right now, they are legitimate winners. But if someone says U.S. has the most medals, however, China has the most golds, who's the winner?
What's that?
Who would be the winner? The one who has the most medals?
Is it me? Is my computer making noises, talking in my mic?
Somebody's.
There we go.
making noise.
It was mine.
God,
All
you're
right.
the worst.
Good one.
The medal count is right now 57-55 China. Golds, 27 apiece. So China, I'm pretty sure China's about out of medals with the remaining events. I know they're not the best sprinters out there.
No.
Just from I'm being honest with you. And
They're not.
United States, they just pulled out a gold with the Serena Williams, the Serena and Venus Williams doubles gold. Obviously, we won the gold with the
Bryan brothers.
The Bryan brothers last night. I didn't know they only got a bronze in Beijing. I know they're like the most dominant team ever.
Yeah, they've been playing for like 20 years.
Yeah,
They've been the team for years.
So it seems that I don't know. It's up in the air with the USA. Regardless, I mean, if we don't go 23, I'm not going to get mad. Obviously, we're just going to keep winning and keep dominating. I mean, I just feel like it'd be a little bit more competitive for other countries.
And then what happens
But
when
we'd
the
still
under
be
23
very
team-
talented if you think about it. Mm-hmm. I mean, Anthony Davis is 18 years old, and he's dominating these games when he gets in.
It'd be exciting, and it would kind of put a unique spin on it, and it would give it an opportunity.
Why does our soccer team make it 23 and younger? And we're awful at soccer. We still can't win with 30-year-olds on our soccer team. Why are we going to make that 23 and younger? We have no shot. We didn't even make it. Why not? And why not basketball?
I guess because the Olympics technically, originally, isn't it supposed to be an amateur event?
Yeah, but obviously LeBron's no amateur.
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of guys.
40-year-old veteran.
So I guess that's maybe why some of the other sports do that. Do other countries do the 23 and under for soccer?
No, they don't.
They don't. We just do. We're so good
We're
at
just
soccer.
so good at soccer.
That doesn't make sense.
That's what that's what I was trying to figure out. With who cares? I know we can bring 3 guys over. I don't unless they recently changed it for this one. I know 4 years ago it was anybody. Now you can bring 3 veterans over 23 only for our soccer team. Only 3. And if you think about it, that's still terrible. We could fill a team full of vets and at least have a chance to make it. Spain, look at Spain. They're bringing everybody. They're bringing a world. I don't know. It's just it's up in the air. It said they played Argentina. Who did lead in say they play coming up Tuesday? I already forgot. Anyways, if you want to give us a shout, no, that sucks. 384-1450 on the Oxmoor Ford Lincoln Buzz line. Give us a call. We want to hear from y'all if your Olympic thoughts. Everybody's Olympics going on. We got the Andy Murray and Roger Federer game going. Or is that? I mean, not Andy Murray. Is that Djokovic?
It's Djokovic. And
That's the Djokovic.
Some dude from Argentina.
That's the other game. Can we change the channel, Kelly? Maybe to the primetime game. Or is that one of those primetime matches you have to buy because they love just
the worst? You two are the worst today about silencing your technological devices.
Well, it's not hard when you actually bring your technological devices, Danielle.
I silenced mine.
Yeah, the Roger Federer and Andy Murray match is going on in center court at Wimbledon for the gold. They got the roof closed, so everybody's saying it's going to be Federer. If it was open, it could have been Murray. Could do weather conditions, used to it, but obviously Federer's just going to dominate. He always does.
But when you want to see Andy Murray kind of win in his home country, you don't want to. And plus, to me, the Olympics and these big sports really don't matter that much. That's just
they take their soccer seriously. They
but
are
I'm
not
just
messing
saying,
around.
but at the same time, what's going to be more important? The World Cup.
Oh, yeah, I know. True.
Like, it's
I know.
just, to me, the Olympics is like...
NBA Finals is much more important than this
That's
because
why-
that's where the best players go. The best, if any of these foreign players, they play basketball in their country, if they're the best, they play in the NBA.
Like
And
Linus
that's,
Kleza
you know.
dropping 25 and
He played in
keeping
the
one
NBA.
team. I know, that's what I'm saying. I'm
Yeah.
saying that's a joke that one NBA player
Yeah.
almost beat the USA team. That's
What is
unreal.
cool is what's going on today, the 100 meters.
That is cool.
That is the epitome of what the Olympics gets people excited about. That's the first type of sport probably ever is who's the fastest man alive.
Yeah, you got a great field. You got obviously the reigning gold medalist Usain Bolt, who got knocked out in his, I guess, Olympic qualifying. Not knocked out, knocked off the gold medals by his guy Blake. I can't remember his first name. And then you have obviously a guy from Lexington, Tyson Gay, and then Gatlin from here, and then you got Safa. Is it Safa or Sasha Powell from Jamaica as well? I can't remember exactly his first name.
right?
All of those guys are in this 100 meter. It's going to be intense.
Wow. That's, I mean, I hope that even if it's not Tyson Gay, I hope
Maybe
Usain
Gatlin.
Bolt. If it's not an American, I hope it's Usain Bolt.
Yeah,
Because I like to see stars, and I like to see, a good story that kind of builds a
He's
legacy.
legend. Everyone loves him.
Yeah,
He's just
everybody loves
fastest
him.
man in the world.
He broke up with his girlfriend to train. I mean, that's a dedicated Olympian.
I like him
tell me,
just for
tell me
that.
Jamaica doesn't take their gold medals as more seriously than our NBA finals.
I guess. What overall makes you say that?
They have nothing but their gold
Yeah,
medals.
okay.
They love to win a gold medal. Imagine one of these countries like Kazakhstan that you never heard of that has 3 people in it and it wins a silver, and he's just crying and crying and crying because that's their first medal ever in for their country.
Yeah.
It's way bigger than an NBA championship.
That is
in my
cool.
opinion.
It's a neat experience. I haven't watched as much of it as I'd like to.
I hope somebody
Perfect
comes out
world.
with golden shoes though for this 100 meter, like Michael Johnson in Atlanta in '96.
You seriously hope someone rips off his golden shoes?
That was my
I
favorite.
loved Michael Johnson.
That was my favorite moment of all.
Loved him.
I love
all
Michael Johnson,
Olympics.
but if someone else does it, it'll just be like, oh, he's copying off Michael
I don't
Johnson.
care. Somebody's already done it before. Just somebody needs to do it again. Even if it's the man Bolt, I don't know. He's going to come out with some bright,
Just think now they
bright
could
neon.
they could have some crazy bling shoes because that's kind of in style.
Kind of like that Ryan
Get
Lochte
Ryan
guy
Lochte.
and
Get
his
Ryan
teeth.
Lochte just-
What would he wear if he were
That
a
was
sprinter?
weird. I saw that picture. I was like, "What's in his mouth? Is that a grill?"
I read that
Lochte.
article that
American
you
flag
shared.
grill. Oh my God, it's the worst.
Danielle shared an article. What is it? The top 10 reasons Ryan Lochte is a douchebag.
He's the sexiest douchebag
Really?
in America.
Yeah, I read
He
it.
is.
I read it.
I
And
thought it was
he-
Zeke Pike. I guess,
No.
I guess he's not a really attractive guy. He's very
No.
ugly.
No, Ryan Lochte's very pretty, but he's also very awful. Have you ever heard an interview with him? He's just the worst.
He seems very-
he can't
very quiet.
speak. He's just like, I don't know, huh? I'm really good with the girls, huh? Like it's awful, but I mean, he's so pretty to look at. You just have to mute it. It's fine, but
Anyone
And
want
he's
to
really good at
impersonate what he says? Yeah, how he says yeah.
No, I want to hear
Jim.
your impersonation.
I can't
your
do it.
handsome Jimmy one.
I hate
Your-
that so much.
I can.
What was the handsome Jimmy one? Yeah.
Are you kidding me?
Are you kidding me?
Are
That
you
was
kidding
awesome.
me?
Handsome
I can
Jimmy,
do
we're gonna
some.
talk Reds here.
I can do some. I can't do Ryan
so
Lochte,
sad.
Young Jeezy. I can't do that.
Jill.
Yeah.
Jill. It's like that. It's awful.
Yeah.
You gotta put the J in front of it because he's like, I want to be
Oh,
original.
was it the Jut?
Yeah,
Was
it's
it one
like
of those?
J. It's like that. It's like J. But he
The
puts
J.
instead of a CH,
Yeah.
he's got a J, and he says that. And this is the worst part about him.
Where's
he's
he
like,
from?
he's from like Florida. He swam for Florida back in the day.
That doesn't
But-
mean he's from Florida. But
well,
I'm sure
he
you probably
was born in New York, I think, and then he moved down to Florida. But he's like from
Well,
Florida.
I know we're coming up against a break here. Let me ask you: did you all see the 400 meter Oscar Pistorius? We've talked about him. He's the double amputee.
Oh wow.
He made the he advanced to the semifinal heat. He came in second. He cruised through that heat. It was like he really didn't even try that hard. Did you all see his race at all? Any chance? No.
I heard about it.
I didn't.
God,
I
did I
didn't.
get a host in here that watch sports?
But I'm gonna
Adam,
tell you what, I
maybe
don't
our
wanna
intern
watch it.
Adam, maybe Matt. Matt texted me wondering about the race. Matt, did you see the Oscar Pistorius run at all?
No, that's why I texted you asking you about it.
You guys are absolutely insane.
Here's the thing. I was
I
going to watch
apologize.
it.
I didn't watch every second.
I didn't ask you to
Or
watch
e-
every second.
or even a lot of the Olympics. I'm sorry. I had other
didn't ask
stuff
you to
going
watch.
on. I apologize.
Didn't ask
I'll
you.
work on
Yesterday
that.
was
Try
the
not
Oldham
to have
County
other.
Fair, Tyler, and
The what?
the Oldham County Fair.
God, get out here. Any county fair is just absolutely stupid.
It is, but little kids like it because they got cool
That's
rides.
true. You got a kid. I forgot about that.
Yeah, way to go.
Yeah, let's get to our break. Let's go ahead and call Mark. We're going to get Mark Blankenbecker on the line and talk about yesterday's open practice for Kelly here. Get a Louisville fan. We'll get a little update for you Cards fans out there. Here, this team's deep. Team's good. John was excited about it yesterday during the show, so we'll be right back with the Weekend Sports Buzz.
Welcome back to the Weekend Sports Buzz. Let us know what you think. Give us a call on the Oxmoor Ford Lincoln Buzz Line at 384-1450.
You gotta fight for your right to party. Your boss caught you smoking, man, he says no way.
Welcome back to the Weekend Sports Buzz. We got the Beastie Boys is what's bringing us in for the birthday of MCA, who is the passed away this year, one of the original founders of the Beastie Boys. Danielle, you a Beastie Boys fan?
I'm a huge Beastie Boys fan. Huge. Sabotage is my favorite running song.
We are presented by livingforless.org. You know, the smart shoppers. Check them out. They got great 50% off deals. We always forget to say that. That's what I was trying to whisper to you.
Gotcha.
Go ahead.
Thought you were just whispering
in the
sweet
corner?
nothings into my ear. I just started giggling.
If you want to check us out on ihigh.com/KentuckySports and watch us give each other sweet whispers in each other, and check out our man of the week. Last week, obviously, we had Mike Smith getting his naked body licked in the head by a horse. And that was pretty good. It got a lot of hits. So now we decided to, if you can check it out, ihigh.com/KentuckySports, call in 384-1450 and tell us who this is, this great athlete of the body issue of all those magazines that go around, the 4-letter network. Give us a call. We might have a prize for you. 384-1450. And to the Oxmoor Ford Lincoln Buzzline, Kelly, I think we got your fellow Card fan, co-host of our Saturday Weekend Sports Buzz, Mark Blankenbeck. Are you there, my friend?
Yes, I am.
How are you doing today?
Oh, man, I'm doing fantastic. I don't have anything to do today, so I'm very excited about that. I've been running like crazy from Lexington to Louisville, and just talking to watching different football teams practice. So it's been a crazy couple days.
Tell us a little bit about the first practice that you went to.
Second practice. We talked to John about the first one.
He's at the second one.
Yeah, first and second practice were really kind of the same. The first practice was, much cooler. The second practice was extremely hot, and they had a few more people out there. But I don't know how they could have gotten any more fans, to the sessions. But Louisville looks really good, pretty much at every position that you look at. There's a couple worry positions like tight end, and if Teddy Bridgewater, is injured, what does Louisville do? They obviously have to go to Will Stein. But for pretty much the depth position, you look at a position like wide receiver where they kind of worried coming into last year they're going to have to rely on freshmen. Now they're worried about how they're going to share the ball. And, you look at the defensive line, the offensive line, this is a position where now they're like 20 to 30 pounds heavier on average than they were 2 years ago when Charlie Strong got here. So it's a really exciting time. It's been a really good time to watch them. It is interesting looking at Louisville's depth chart compared to what they actually put out on the field. It's a lot of it's a lot of trickery. A lot of the players that you see on the 2 deep aren't exactly in their right positions when you go out there at practice. So it's kind of interesting to watch that unfold.
Yeah, for sure. Obviously, I'm not a Cardinal fan here, but I do know that we talked to John, and I kind of made fun of the Card base, and 1,400 fans, but then I realized it was only at your all's practice facility, so obviously you packed it out. Give me somebody about the wide receivers. I hear the wide receivers are looking very good, and how's Teddy Bridgewater in the first 2 days? In your opinion, what did he look like? Because I know he looks like a beast in this picture, like he gained an extra 40 pounds.
Right. Well, Teddy is a lot bigger. And one of the things that he does is, he actually throws in gloves, in practice and in games. And so it's interesting to sort of watch that, because a lot of times when you throw in gloves and in this type of heat, not as accurate, but that hasn't shown at all. Teddy's always thrown a really great deep ball, especially with the fade. That hasn't changed, but one of the things that he has been hitting is the quick slant, the quick out, things like that. And at the receiver position, you got Devontae Parker, you got Andrel Smith, Scott Radcliffe, Eli Rogers. Michael E. Harris is not practicing in contact drills right now, but he is, sort of participating quite a bit. One new addition is they actually moved Charles Gaines over from corner, and actually have heard while I was out there for 2 days that Gaines is probably going to play both ways. He's probably going to still play a little bit at corner. He's going to play at receiver as well. But with Gaines and Parker, they're going to be two really great deep threats that Louisville can throw out there at any time, and that's just going to leave a lot of room underneath for Teddy to hit for the 7, 8, 10-yard pass. And I really look for Louisville's offense to take major strides. And the running back group, I mean, you could pretty much just point at one, and you're going to get the same results. So it's really, really exciting offensively compared to how bad they were at last year.
Yeah, Mark, I know that you mentioned something about the tight end position. I guess Nate Nord's probably the starter right now at tight end. Is that your feelings on it?
Nate Nord or Ryan Hubble, he's a JUCO transfer from Iowa Western. Hubble's he has a good size, and really what it's going to come down to is who can catch the ball, because the last 2 years, you had Cameron Graham, who kind of came in from a junior college, and he really caught a lot of balls. And then last year, Josh Chichester, he didn't really make himself a great target. So we kind of had to rely on a passing tight end and a running tight end. So now we're looking at two guys that we want them to do both things. We want them to run block. We want them to catch the ball in the passing game. And whoever can do that better is going to win the job. Chris White's another guy. He's more of a blocking tight end. But, right now it looks like Nord and Hubble are going to win the job.
Good deal. I know that obviously the tight end, I guess, isn't the most star-studded position, but as far as the offensive skill positions, the Cards look like they're very strong this year. And so I'm looking at what areas of the team do you think maybe are lacking? I know that the defensive secondary, especially with Adrian Bichelle, will be much better with him having a year of experience under his belt. What area of the team, other than maybe tight end, do you think Cards fans should be concerned about?
If there's an area that I worry about, it's obviously the second-string quarterback. But, moving past that position, I'm going to look at the second-string offensive line. I really like the first unit that Louisville's going to throw out there. But in any injury at any of the offensive line positions kind of, presents a challenge, because you're going to have to replace that person with someone who has a lot of inexperience. You're going to have to, you don't know really what you're going to get out there. Now, Louisville has a lot of talented young offensive linemen, but, they're very young, and they're going to be redshirt freshmen, true freshmen coming in, and that's either going to be Nacho Garcia, Joe Manley, Ryan Mack, Aaron Epps. So, these are guys who can play and, have, garnered a lot of, expectations, in terms of scouting coming out of high school, but they haven't done it on the college level yet. And you always like to see that, before you actually, tie your horse to that wagon.
Yeah, for sure. Again, we got our man Mark Blankenbaker joining us, giving us a little update of Louisville's open practice yesterday. He was out there. Mark, since you were out there, obviously everybody wants to know how the team looks and whatnot. Well, let your fan base know how your players are. I mean, are they relaxed? Are they having fun out there? Are they ready to get there? We're 28 days away from kickoff against the Cats.
Yeah, the attitude on the team is really great right now. I mean, they in fact, we've interviewed probably 6 or 7 guys in the first 2 days, and one of the common themes is that we're all in this year. Like, they are literally, they just say, whatever we got to do, we're going to wake up early, we're going to stay in late, we're going to watch film, we're going to practice together, they're going to take care of their bodies, and a lot of them talk about how important it is to eat well and how important it is to hydrate after practice, and it's just really interesting to watch this, because the last 2 years it was always like, this is a young team. This team has no expectations. I think now they've seen that they can, do well. They can actually, go to a BCS game. I think last year when it was a possibility for them to make the Orange Bowl, I think that kind of surprised them. And now that they saw themselves get so close, I don't think that they want to let that go again.
Yeah, for sure. Well, Mark, we appreciate you taking a few minutes, waking up a few minutes earlier for us and breaking down your cards. Get you back in here Saturday, and we'll talk a bunch of banter.
All right, I look forward to seeing you guys soon.
All right, man.
Thanks a lot, Mark. Some good stuff. Definitely some optimism around the Louisville football team.
Do you think they got robbed for not being in the top 25?
I don't think they got robbed, no.
I don't think
they're 27, 25, who cares?
Even if it's 30-something. I mean,
your strength, it would have helped to have been more ranked higher considering your schedule is going to be so awful. Mm-hmm. But, if the more you win, it's going to be harder to jump up, do you think? If you want one, do you think it'd kind of be a Boise State kind of a factor when they were in, the Mountain West? They go undefeated, but they still don't get that, top couple spots. Do you think that would happen to you all with your weak schedule?
I I don't know. Are you saying that
No, I'm not
being
ranked
higher would be better for us?
Yes, exactly.
Yeah, I don't think so. I think they need to win regardless.
Yeah,
and so at
that's
the end of the
the
day, I mean, whether you're going up, I mean, if they start out 7-0 or something like that, which could happen, I think that they're going to be ranked accordingly. And I mean, they have a more of an opportunity to do that because of their schedule. You're right. So I mean, I'm not.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not taking a shot at all. I was just seriously wondering because how Boise State, they get screwed over when they go undefeated, and just being a weak schedule, and they actually throw in a couple good games in there, like a Virginia Tech, or Georgia, and they still kind of get the shaft. But who knows? I mean, I guess it all, like you said, Louisville just has to win first.
Yeah, they just got to win. But it's definitely an exciting time to be a Cards fan. So I'm
for sure.
really excited about
let's get to this break. Next segment, if you all want to give us a shout, Oxmoor Ford Lincoln Buzzline 384-1450, give us a call. We're going to talk about the Reds. We'll come in with our Reds update from our man Brad Steen. This is the Weekend Sports Buzz. We'll be right back.
Welcome back to the Weekend Sports Buzz on 1450 AM.
The Reds' lead is now 5.5 games over the Pittsburgh Pirates as they beat the Pirates 5-4 last night thanks to a leadoff triple in the 8th inning by Scott Rowland, who was then chased home on a Todd Frazier groundout. While Mike Leake gave the Reds 6 quality innings, it was the bullpen who stepped up yet again for this team. 3 innings of no hit, no run, no walk, and 3 strikeout baseball. Aroldis Chapman's stats over his last 19 games, you're wondering? 0 runs, 39 strikeouts, 3 walks, 8 hits, and 18 in the 3rd innings. He also has 17 saves and 17 chances. This guy has been absolute money for this team this year. This team is playing out of their mind without their best player. It's been players like Ryan Ludwig, Scott Rowland, Todd Frazier, and even Brandon Phillips and Drew Stubbs. All of them have contributed in some way to make this team better. The Reds will look to sweep the Bucks today and give them a 6.5 game lead in the NL Central. It won't be easy as the Pirates have A.J. Burnett on the mound. He will be facing the Reds' Homer Bailey. Bailey is 6-1 with a 2.62 ERA against the Buccos in his career. That's all for me. You can find me on Twitter at Steen Kysco. That's STIENEKYSCO. I'm Brad Steen, 1450, the Sports Buzz.
Give me fuel, give me fire, give me that which I desire.
Welcome back to the Weekend Sports Buzz. We had the wonderful Brad Steen bring us in with a great Reds update. Wonderful there.
Wonderful Brad
Steen. I love it. Enthusiastic.
That's got to be his new Twitter handle, the wonderful Brad Steen.
It was a wonderful Reds weekly Reds update. I love it. He had conviction with what he was talking about. This team has, Chapman has been unbelievable for this team, and he was just Ludwig, and that was a good Reds update. I liked it.
Yeah, the pitching, I've enjoyed that this week. They are a very absurd group of pitchers. I mean, when you think of it, Latos, home run.
Yeah.
The other night when I was there, Mike Leake was a pinch hitter.
He's a hell of that's because he's a really good hitter.
I know, but it's just very bizarre to look up pinch hitter Mike Leake.
Yeah,
I was just like, what are they doing?
I've seen Bronson pinch hit before too.
We have good hitting pitchers.
I like that. I do too. You think Broxton could hit?
I don't know about Broxton. He's a big boy.
I wouldn't be surprised if he could.
I'm going to say he probably's got an Aaron Harang type of cut. Not too pretty. But, the wonderful Brad Steen with a great update there. Obviously, I'm trying to still pull this up. I'm going to challenge his Burnett pitching. I'm pretty sure
Burnett was moved into the starting.
If he got moved in this morning,
they moved it.
He's right.
You're both kind of right. Clint Hurdle. Clint Hurdle, the
coach everywhere.
The coach of the Pirates moved it, so now it is their ace, Burnett, because they need to win this game. If you're the Pirates, you got to win today. You can't go into the series being down 3.5 and come out being down 6.5. That's big.
In my opinion, they don't have a chance to win today.
Really?
You don't, especially now that I know Burnett got moved into the role today. He's going a day early. He's coming off a almost no hitter. He gave up 1 hit. It should have been a no-hitter. The guy should have struck out, and then he got a hit. He won't have that type of performance again. It's going to be, Danielle, another 50,000 strong in Cincinnati?
Probably will be this weekend.
45,000. It's going to be packed today. The game's at 105.
It will be. You've got that. You'll have the game, and then they can go over to the Bengals practice. The Bengals practice is like 4.
Go to Cleveland. Go to the Browns or something. Screw the Bungalows.
Whatever.
What? Go Bengals. I'm a big Bengals fan.
That's where I'm going after this. I'm
Tyler's
going to
a Browns
practice.
fan.
I don't want to talk Browns
because Tim Couch
right now.
I wouldn't want to talk about the Browns either.
Why? 'Cause we're going to beat you all. Don't worry about it. We'll get into that next week or so. Where was I?
We were talking about the Reds and
stupid Bengals.
How the Pirates need to win today. If you're the Pirates, you're pulling out all your tricks.
We're going to bring.
We got to start our ace on kind of a short notice.
They're going to start their ace. We're going to have Phillips in the lineup probably today.
I was going to ask.
He's not. I'm not 100%. Don't call me Dusty. But he was supposed to start yesterday. They go ahead and let him take it off again. Bruce will be there. Cairo. Look at Cairo and Roland last night. Just old men stepping up. They don't have a chance to win today. I'm going to say the Bruins are coming out.
John Hancock just messaged me and said the starting lineup today is Cozart, Stubbs, Bruce, Ludwig, Frazier, Cairo, Valdez, Hannigan, and Bailey.
So Cairo is starting.
No Phillips, at least
That's
starting.
Fine. I don't care. Cairo's fine. Did you see his web gem last night?
I didn't see it. I listened to it.
Of course you did. He looked just like Brandon Phillips. A great dive in the hole. Got him out at first. To end the inning, I had a guy in second. It was huge. It was clutch. And, of course, Scott Rowland hit a triple in the top of the ninth to, what is the Reds seal the victory with the Cuban Missile himself. He's a monster. Danielle, you've been going to the games.
I have been.
How's the atmosphere?
It's pretty awesome. Wednesday was not as good because it wasn't very packed out on Wednesday.
Middle of the week, hump day, it's okay.
Yeah, I mean, it's still the Padres series, too. And Monday they got just absolutely creamed by the Padres. That was not fun.
I'm talking to Brad Steen right now, and he's in Pittsburgh. He's listening to their radio up there, going on. I'm not sure if you want to. Brad, tell me who it is. They're saying there's going to be a beanball today by Burnett. They are 100% that they are going to hit a red. And who's it going to be? Probably one of our better players. Bruce, maybe. I don't know. Maybe just go ahead and start off the game early, hitting Cozart. They're saying he's going to hit somebody.
I hope we don't get into a benches clearing brawl.
I hope we do.
I hope we don't. That being said, if we do, look at our team. You got Alfredo Simon.
Yeah.
You got Alfredo Simon.
Broxton?
You got Broxton.
Aroldis?
Even Aroldis. How'd you like to get punched in the face by a 106 mile an hour left-handed hook?
Did you like the fight on Monday night?
I did.
With the catcher fight? Yeah.
Bezzarocco. You can't forget him.
All these guys. Ludwig's huge.
Didn't you tell me stat over the week that most teams that have been winning, like Yankees and Red Sox, they always have bigger, more physically built guys?
I've read a couple different articles that analyze kind of the size of the Yankees versus the size of the whatever bad team there is out there, and that they have the big guys out there. And so each time we pick up one of these physically just a monster type guys, I love it. Latos is big.
He is big.
Bailey's big.
He's tall. He's skinny.
Tall. He's
got
wiry.
arrow on his arm, so he'll get you good.
Broxton's a beast. Roland's huge. Frazier's big. I mean, everybody on this team.
I thought you just said Bronson. I was about to say, whoa, I'm bigger than Bronson.
Bronson's tall.
I don't care.
He's all leg.
He's all leg is right. He's
an athlete.
Danielle, you're the only Reds fan that goes to the game that doesn't wear Reds gear.
Because I didn't.
I was pissed at that picture.
Well, the only problem is I didn't know I was going until the morning, and I had just...
You should have bought one of these shirts that you have. Hold them up to the camera. ihigh.com/KentuckySports.
Here's the thing. I didn't know I was going, number one. Number two, I came straight from work.
That's Votto. You should have put that on.
What?
That's awesome.
Well, yeah, it is awesome, but I also didn't know I was going, so I didn't have it with me. So I was at work. I worked 2 blocks from the stadium, so I just went straight from the stadium.
You should have bought a free Pete shirt, $10.
Bought a free T-shirt?
Free Pete shirt.
Oh, okay.
They're all over this corners of Cincinnati.
Okay, well, I wasn't going to.
Have you ever seen one of those?
Plus, I didn't want to... I was in, Monday, I was in the Fox Sports Ohio suite, and I didn't want to...
goggles?
I wanted to look off... Yeah, I was throwing the goggles on TV with Jim Day behind me.
Jim Day was looking good. Not just Jim Day, but you also had Hal McCoy.
It was funny when I did it because I forgot I had been on TV a few times before that, and I turned to my friend and I was like, "Have I not thrown the 3 goggles yet? Like I don't even know who I am anymore." And then Hal McCoy comes out, and I was like, "I can't," because if it was just Jim Day, I would have just been disgusting about it. I would have been like, "Woo!" That's why I was kind of being sly about it because I didn't want to steal Hal's thunder. Hall of Famer, not doing it.
The game's at 105. Kelly, are you going to watch today's sweep? Are you going to tune in
I
TV?
don't appreciate your comment earlier about. Sure, of course you didn't. I listened to the entire game on the radio last night.
Did you?
Yeah,
that's good. I know you're a big time radio.
I appreciate if you maybe didn't make comments like that unless you knew.
I'll be driving during.
You'll be driving.
So I mean, not to beat a dead horse, I will listen to the game today without a doubt. The entire thing.
I'll give you a high five for that. Maybe a pat on the ass. I don't know.
Well, I'd appreciate that.
Yeah.
Not to beat a dead horse, I'm looking over this pitching staff. Logan Andrusik, 6'8", 228. Alfredo Simon, 6'6", 230. Sean Marshall, 6'7", 220.
We forgot about him.
I didn't forget about him.
No, earlier when we were naming our monsters.
Yeah, we did, yeah. Matt Latos, 6'6", 225. Jonathan Broxton, 6'4", 300.
I give him 314, 320.
He could be over 300. He is a giant. I love it. I love an intimidating bullpen.
Let me ask
and
you,
a solid pitching staff.
Let me ask you this.
It's looking good.
I asked Mike Gandolfo yesterday. He's the newest KentuckySports.co, our Derby Festival guy. We love Mike coming on. He's a big Reds fan.
I heard him. He was great. He was very knowledgeable of the Reds.
Very great. I asked him. I'm going to ask you that. How many innings do opposing teams have to score against the Reds? If you think about it, 7 through 9 is locked down with Marshall, Broxton, or Chapman. It's locked down. Pitchers, our starters, are not. They're pitching so great. They are not going to allow a team to score in 6 innings leading up to the 7th.
They may get a few runs, but they're not going to get rocked.
Teams have 3 innings to beat this team. That is not good for any opposing team, in my opinion. They have
really
3 innings. Do you agree with me?
I agree with you. I'm slowly coming around to your I guess as far as your Reds super optimism this season.
And I'm so on this year. I'm sorry, I'm so
everyone
on.
Else is too. Everyone
No,
is so
all the
excited up there.
bandwagoners that are just joining the
Yeah.
talk, all the
Tyler
local
was
news,
on
all the
it.
local radio, everything is now joining the Reds talk. We joined the Reds talk when we sucked. All right,
We are the best Reds talk in the city.
easily,
In
no
the city
doubt,
of Louisville.
without a doubt.
Is there any Reds talk in Louisville?
They
Yes,
try to.
they do try.
Recently,
There's-
they've been trying.
Oh, I haven't.
They
yeah.
don't. They don't know anything about it. If they want to, 384-1450, you don't know anything. And I'll tell you right now, just like that one host calling all the other media people fat, get a joke. He's got man boobs. Come on. I mean, that's just a joke.
Anybody wants to talk about the Reds, seriously, do give us a call, 384-1450. I can talk about it all day today.
I
I
could
feel
have
so
three- I could
good.
have-
What have the Reds? They've won 13 out of 15.
They've won 13 out of 15, 19 of 3 or since the All-Star break.
I heard that they have it. They're
16
19
and 2 since Votto's been gone. Trade Votto, right?
I keep
No.
hearing these. No one suggested the trade ball.
No, I'm just joking. When
No.
I was saying we're so good without him.
because
you
we're
know.
better without him. It kind of makes me nervous throwing him back into the mix.
What are we
almost.
going to do with these guys? What do we got? Roland playing well. He's a veteran in there doing great. Let's get to the Oxmoor Ford Lincoln Buzzline and get somebody else's opinion. I'll ask you that later. Handsome Jimmy, I know you want to talk Reds.
Oh, no question, man. And you just bring up the guy, Scott Rowland, man. You know, last night, he's a great defensive player, but his offense is good, too. And he hit that triple last night. I mean, just unbelievable. I got to tell you something. I mean, this team can't get you excited. Nothing will in baseball.
Oh, you're not kidding. I've been waiting for this. I know we may, the 1990, 91, Barry Larkin, Eric Davis, Eddie Taubensee World Series, and then you go to 99, 96 wins, one-game playoff with the Mets. You miss out on a great season, and then 2010 you get swept by the Phillies. You get a no-hit, and now look where we are. I've been waiting for this for 12, 15 years.
I got to tell you, I mean, my oldest son, he didn't remember the Big Red Machine. I'm 49. I do remember him real well, and I mean, it's like that. I mean, we were winning just like that. The Big Red Machine. Of course, it's not no Big Red Machine, but we were winning just like the Big Red Machine did. Because when you walk in that stadium, you say watching the Reds, you expecting to win. I mean, and that's just amazing. I got to tell you, I love Homer throwing today. It's against Pittsburgh, he's outstanding against Pittsburgh. But I love Homer. He's coming to a complete pitcher now. When he first come up, he had all the hype. He was a thrower. He just struck you out, and now he's come to a pitcher. I love his progress, the way he's thrown the baseball this year.
Oh, my God, I love it. I mean, I wasn't ever on the we need to get rid of Homer bandwagon, but I'll be honest, I mean, he hadn't developed into a true, like you said, instead of just a thrower, he's now a true pitcher. I expect he could throw 8 or 9 innings today. I mean, I wouldn't be surprised.
Yeah,
I mean, it's amazing.
I remember earlier in the year, Handsome, you called in. We were talking Reds, and we were talking homers, and saying he's been here. He's still young. He's been here forever, which has kind of caused Reds fan to kind of, oh, come on, Homer, what's going on? Maybe he's hit his role, 10 wins, just cruising this year.
Oh, there's no question. I got to tell you that. Our pitching staff is just off the chart, and our bullpen, like you said, since we got that big haul from Kansas City.
That's great.
He comes in there throwing it 96.
Oh, it's great.
Then you get the missile going and throwing it 102. I mean, that's just lethal. I got to tell you something. Have you saw, and I'm 49 years, I've never saw nothing like this for us relieving in baseball when Chapman comes in. It's off the chart. I mean, I've never saw nothing like this. Have y'all?
To answer the question, secondly, I wanted first off, Kelly, can you hear the excitement and Hanson in our voices? It is true passion and true excitement about how excited we are about this team. And keeping Messiah the best closer in history if he sticks as a closer his whole career.
No,
I'll say it today.
I don't want him to change the forget the starting role.
Yep, forget it.
His job, he makes a lot of money now, but he's really going to make a lot of money in his next contract. If he stays healthy and throwing like he is, he's in a perfect spot. I tell you right now, Ryan, the left fielder, Ryan, is he off the chart?
Ludwig, killing it.
Is he in a zone right now is off the chart?
He is leading baseball, tied with Albert Pujols in baseball after the All-Star break in RBIs with 22, I believe, now after last night, 21-22. He's batting in over 300 since the break. He's first in multiple categories. He's awesome. Hell of a pickup by Walt Jockey.
Slugging percentage, he's first. He's first in that.
Yeah, it's great. I can believe it. Actually, I've been saying this for 5 to 10 years that this is the team that's going to be there.
5 to 10 years, you've been saying it every year.
Since this young talented team has been there on the Reds, developing. I knew it would come around eventually, and it's
you hit that on the head, partner. I mean, all the talent we have had coming through our farm, so I love it. And we're doing this without joy, and we doing it. And Brandon in this series here, I knew Brandon was going to play last night. That's one of the reasons y'all got a text. But I knew Dusty said last night. I watched from start to finish. So they go off the air, and Dusty said last night that he wasn't going to, he wasn't going to play Brandon tomorrow. So we get him, and hopefully, and I really believe this, we'll win today and get, and you go 6.5 up, man. That's big. I know St. Louis made that great run last year. Atlanta just folded. We ain't going to fold.
Oh, no. We're 66-41. 23 games over 500. We're the only team playing over 600 baseball. This team's going nowhere, Handsome. As always, my man, I appreciate the call. Reds are going to the World Series.
Let's get a victory today, and tell your girl there to put on something red. I know she's a Kentucky girl, but we're going to have something red when we win that 2000 championship.
I now have two.
Cardinals too.
Yes,
Jimmy,
sir.
I've got two red shirts now. And by the way, and I will not wear it for anything in Cardinals.
I'm sorry, Mr. What you say, sweetie?
I said I will not wear it for anything Louisville related, but I now have two Reds shirts, so I will wear it.
At least you're really knowledgeable in one sport and baseball, and I'm glad of it, huh? You have a wonderful day. You have a wonderful day, and always a pleasure listening to y'all.
I appreciate it, Handsome. Always a pleasure talking with you. I love the excitement.
Here's my question.
Go ahead.
Because I've actually been watching other baseball other than the Reds.
Who does that?
Nuts.
We're the best team in baseball.
I kind of love it. But here's the thing. What team would beat them in a best-of-7 series?
Good
when
question.
You get to the playoffs, what team is going to beat them? I can understand one game. You can lose a game or two. In a best-of-7 series when you get to the playoffs, because they're obviously going to be, unless they just...
I said this 3 months ago. I honestly don't think one team could beat them in a series. After the Yankee series, I said it. That's what it was.
The Angels are pretty good.
Yes, they're very, very good.
The Yankees are tough. The Braves could contend with us in the National League. I would be nervous going into a Braves series.
Okay. I'm honestly not worried about one team in the National League other than the Nationals. Not because, if they kept Strasburg, they would have Strasburg going 2 games against us. That's the only thing. Other than that, I don't care. Let's go to the World Series. We'll see you, Texas. We'll see you, Yankees.
It could happen. I love the enthusiasm from Hanson.
Are you going to come to a game if
Brad is going to. Brad, I'm going to live up there with Brad if I have to, and I'll be at every game. I'll be partying, going hardcore for this playoffs. I can't wait. I know, like I said, we got swept, Kelly, in 2010. That was heartbreaking.
That was
horrible.
First
time we got to the playoffs since '99, and then it's like, welcome to the playoffs. Now go home. Not this year.
Especially in the way that it happened with Roy Halladay no-hitting us.
That was hard.
That was not fun.
Not fun at all. Now it's just great.
I love the enthusiasm, though, from Handsome Jimmy. I mean, and he brings up a good point with the bullpen overall. I mean, you got, in the 7th, you got maybe switch off between Andrusik and Marshall.
Hey, not to cut you off, let's get to the Oxmoor Ford Lincoln Buzzline since we are coming up against a break here in just a few minutes. Our man, we haven't talked to you in a few minutes. You might know who he is, Kelly. Brian, the Insider, how are you doing today?
Good morning, guys. How's everyone doing this morning?
We're doing great. Just another beautiful Sunday morning.
Well, I love your show. Been listening to it up here north of Dayton. Lifetime Reds fan. Love the Reds talk. Really glad to see Scott Rowland contributing. I think that's the brilliance of Dusty Baker. Up this way, a lot of people wanted to see Scott Rowland pitched. Dusty hung in there with him, as I did. The cream always rises to the top. We got a Hall of Fame third baseman, and it just takes the older, like Dusty said this morning in the paper, just takes the older guys a little longer to get hot, but when they get hot, they stay hot. And his persistence with Scott Rowland, I think, has been a key with Votto out, and it's just, I've never seen, a whole life, I've never seen a hotter Reds team than the one we got right now. Boy, the excitement is fantastic.
I know, Brian, that you have seen the Big Red Machine. You've seen the 90 Reds team. Am I accurate and I have not, so that being said, am I accurate in saying this is top to bottom the best Reds pitching staff of even your life?
Well, Don Gullett, that era back then was awful good. I'm not ready to say it's the best Reds team or it's the best pitching staff, but I can honestly say I don't ever remember a 10-game road sweep. I don't ever remember just picking them up and putting them down like they're doing right now. I mean, this may or may not turn out to be, and I think history will dictate the greatness of this individual team. But I don't think anybody can argue that this stretch they're on here over the last couple months, and certainly since the All-Star break, isn't probably the best streak of baseball that anyone around here can remember.
What I love is that the city of Louisville, all around, the other sports shows that don't talk about the Reds on a regular basis, everybody's really embracing this and proving that Louisville and the state of Kentucky as a whole is a Reds fan base. Brian, we know that you cover, you follow a lot of sports, not just the Reds, not just the Louisville Cardinals and Kentucky Wildcats. Have you gotten a chance to watch much of the Olympics? What type of events have you watched lately?
I've been following the Olympics. I've been following the men's basketball. Just completely blown away by the rhetoric coming out of LeBron and Kobe and some of these other guys, comparing it to the Dream Team. The near miss against Lithuania goes to show you that the Dream Team would beat this men's team by 30. This is not that good of American basketball team when you got Tyson Chandler as your center, who is a second tier center in my league, especially when you compare him to Keem Lee and Patrick Ewing and some of the great centers that the Olympics have had in the past. Very disappointed with the men's basketball team. I'm sure they'll probably pull it out, but I wish they would just play and quit trying to compare themselves to the greatest assembly of basketball players in the history of the world forever, probably. And besides that, I haven't been following it, but I do have a horse racing update.
Great.
With the Whitney Handicap, as you know, the Saratoga meet is in full bloom right now, which is a very prestigious meet, kind of like the Keeneland meets. And they had a Grade 1 race yesterday, and the 7-1 horse in the Whitney won it. And a local jockey, Brian Hernandez, his first trip, Fort Harned, it was the name of the horse that won it. Brian Hernandez, based out of Louisville, his first trip ever to Saratoga, first time he's even ever seen the facility, stole the Grade 1 race yesterday. And for you sports enthusiasts, yes, that is the same Brian Hernandez Jr. that's the regular rider for Fat Day.
That is great. I was going to ask you about Fat Day, so I'm glad you brought him up. Brian, I really do hate to just cut you off. We are at our 11 o'clock break right now. Got to hit it. It's Patrick Ewing's birthday, by the way. I'm glad you brought him up.
Hey, love the program, guys. Love the program. Keep talking Reds.
Oh,
Take
yeah,
care, man.
We will appreciate it, Brian. We got to get to this break because coming up right now, we got our man from the KFFSC.com, Farrell Elliott. We're going to switch over to some fantasy football talk. 384-1450 is our Oxmoor Ford Lincoln Buzzline. You can give us a shout. We can talk to Farrell, talk to us. And then at 11:30, Derek Abney, UK Great. Stick with us, the Weekend Sports Buzz.
Welcome back to the Weekend Sports Buzz. Let us know what you think. Give us a call on the Oxmoor Ford Lincoln Buzz Line at 384-1450.
Welcome back to the Weekend Sports Buzz. We came off a segment there. We got pretty enthusiastic talking about the Cincinnati Reds. We do have our guest, Farrell Elliott, is on the line with us. How you doing this morning, Farrell?
Gentlemen, good morning. It's a throwback song that you're coming back with there. It makes me want to go organize my vinyl collection.
38 Special's great, aren't they, Farrell?
It's cool. Yeah, you know, those old boys. I remember the first year of Hullabaloo out of Churchill Downs.
Mm-hmm.
One of the girl that I represent, she opened, and then 38 Special came out on the stage, the next band. I said, wow, this is pretty cool. Pretty special.
Oh,
but
yeah, for
sadly,
sure.
no more Hullabaloo.
Well, Farrell, I apologize. You have to kind of come in right after and try to live up to the enthusiasm and the excitement that's in our voices from this Reds talk we've been doing. What do you think about the streak this Reds team is on, the best team in baseball?
You know, the Reds are proving that they're doing everything they can. I think the acquisition of Broxton just speaks volumes for the team, and of course you guys have already talked about the fact that they're winning without Votto. And, you know, when your best player gets injured, usually you have a few days. In football, you might have just one game where the rest of the team rallies. But when you lose a star, it makes it difficult to come back to that level every week. The Reds are doing it every night. They're finding new ways to win. It's very exciting. It was a one-run game last night.
Yep, it was 5-4.
You know, just terrific and exciting, and it's got to be bringing that community in the region to the ballpark. I watched, the only game I had a chance to watch last week was the daytime game, the Businessman Special. I love going to those. I haven't made one this year. And the crowd was a little scant. You know, I'm thinking that those seats need to be filled in that small ballpark, and they keep winning like this, it certainly will be.
Well, Farrell, I know that we have coming up Sunday, August 26th. Tyler and I are looking forward to very much our draft that we'll be doing. Not a week, about 3 weeks from now. I can't wait.
August 24th through the 26th.
August 24th through the 26th. Our draft will be on the 26th, though, I believe, right?
Yeah, our draft's on the 26th. Yeah. The Kentucky Fantasy Football State Championship, which is KFFSC.com, which our man Farrell Elliott runs. It's the casino. Horseshoe is going to be hosting the event as usual, August 24th through the 26th. This is the 10th year of this event, and like you said, we're 3 weeks away. So if you got a fantasy itch, if you want to get into the game, you got to get on the website and register. Call our man Farrell.
Yeah, you have everyone check in with me. I'd love to speak with them at 523-5057. You know, guys, we'll fill the seats that day because of your help here at the show, the station, the Sunday segment. Our league is growing. We already have more teams than we had last year.
Great. Glad to hear we can hopefully be helping. In the world of fantasy football, what type of stuff is going on right now? I know you see if you watch ESPN, you see Mark Sanchez and Tim Tebow. They seem to just take up everything, almost a little too much for a team that has a quarterback controversy. I don't see why they get so much run on the big networks. But what are your feelings on the Sanchez versus Tebow quarterback situation?
Well, guys, I'm glad you brought that up, leading with the ESPN, and this is not the first complaint I've heard of that. You know, I spend my time buried in the NFL Network, but not everyone in town has that channel, and a couple of people have complained to me that it's the way the media is following that, and usually ESPN set the standard. Now they look like they're just following a reality show. But let's look at the two ball players. Sanchez is a serviceable, low-end, quarterback-by-committee franchise player. When he came out of school, I took him in the 20th round, played him 1 week of his rookie year, and I got by with it. That's what you're looking at this year in most situations. He's not a player that will be drafted. Now, Tebow, who will get obviously less snaps at quarterback, and maybe not any. Tebow, though, the way the practices are moving and the reports coming out of there, we'll see more once the preseason game starts. But Tebow actually looks like the better fantasy play because there's commentary that he may be getting most, if not all, of the goal line and extend that to red zone opportunities. So but neither player is going to win your fantasy game, but if you love what the Jets are attempting to do, if you buy into that, a late-round pick could find either player available and possibly take as a flyer on your roster.
Yeah, for sure.
I know that we got a couple other topics we want to talk to you about for sure. Before we move on from the Jets, though, what do you think of the Jets running back situation, and how is Bilal Powell going to do? Is he going into it? Is he maybe got a shot at being the number one?
No, sir. No. Sean Green is the man, and they are, for better or worse, they are married to Sean Green in that backfield, and they're going to want to pound the ball. So Bilal Powell will see the field. They're trying to find a place for him, possibly as a third down back, pass catching back. Bilal Powell's an interesting ball player, but this is not his time yet. It's the Sean Green show in that backfield. He's a 5th or 6th round draft pick in most fantasy drafts. I'm trying to warm up to him, but what we just said about Tebow makes his situation somewhat difficult. If Tebow's getting red zone and goal line touches, Sean Green becomes less valuable in fantasy ball.
Yeah, for sure. Since you're on the running back with Sean Green right there, that's Kelly and Bilal Powell being the Louisville fan that Kelly is there.
Any way we can spin that to say Bilal Powell maybe will be the number one?
No, sir. But it's a great effort, Kelly. Keep trying. Keep pushing.
All right, Tyler, what do you have?
Good effort. I wanted to ask you about Javid Best. Obviously, is he a sleeper? Maybe a Steve Smith Rams sleeper?
Well, Javid Best, we can't label him a sleeper, but I made a note that I wanted to talk about him today and just put the word "why" to his name, because Javid Best is, the key in the NFL right now is player safety with the concussions and the long-term effects of the injuries. It's brought more to light here on Hall of Fame weekend as we talk about issues that are affecting our game, and I really don't understand how Detroit can put him on the field. If you look at his injury history to his head, we're looking at a situation where I think it's dangerous for this player to even play football. So naturally, the rules play that once you contract a concussion in a game, you're going to the sidelines and you may be out for 3 weeks. Javid Best is a no draft for me, and he is a terrific player, an exciting player, but he's not physically able, under the new rules that exist in the system, to play football. So I'm staying away from Javid Best.
That's an interesting standpoint of yours, because I know a lot of people I've talked to kind of enjoyed Javid Best, but I'm going with my man Farrell's call here. He's the head of the KFFSC.com. And before I get on to the next question, Farrell, I do want to read over the air real quick for everybody, our newest sponsor for going on with the fantasy football. If you're playing fantasy football, it's all about a winning strategy. For a winning strategy, when you buy or sell home, allow Jamie Cox of Simone Realtors put together a winning game plan for you. With interest rates near an all-time low, there has never been a better time or place to upgrade. We're off track. Sorry. For personal attention, effective marketing results, contact Jamie Cox at 502-593-5454 or at jamiecox.com. Again, that's Simone Realtors. I'll hook you up with some good deals on some great prices homes. And we appreciate Farrell for, you hooking them up with the sponsorship.
A live-in read, guys, for our segment. Jamie's been listening. He likes what we're saying. He's a longtime player in the KFFSC, plays under the team name Top Dogs, and he is difficult. If he ends up in your division, you better keep an eye on him, fellas.
Oh yeah, for sure. We're excited to bring Jamie on board. The sponsorship for the show and website. Just join in 1450 and join. I'm excited to meet him out at the event on August 24th through the 26th.
Certainly. Farrell, it's Kelly again. I know that coming off a sensational rookie season, Cam Newton with the Panthers, a lot of people are picking probably different things, some to do real well for the Panthers. What are your feelings about the Panthers overall, and who has the most value from that Panthers team?
Well, you mentioned it, Cam Newton. Now, who has the second most value is still to be determined. There's too many guys in that backfield. And then Cam decides that he's going to play running back once in a while after he takes a snap. So there's some interesting players in this team, and they're going to be catching the ball. Brandon LaFell, I'm warming up to. Fantasy players have moved Brandon LaFell in and on their roster and off their roster through the waiver system the last couple of years. This year, I think he might make a move. I like his size. I like his pass-catching skills, and there's just a comfort factor. Then the tight end position looks exclusively Greg Olson's. This is the team I like to catch the ball and move the ball down the field. Too many running backs. I don't know where to take them. I don't know when to play them. So consequently, they're going to put up some numbers. But with Williams, Stewart, and now Tolbert in the mix, I'm just going to stay out of that situation.
What do you think about Steve Smith?
Which one?
Which one? Yeah, that's what I was about to say, Farrell. Which Steve Smith?
Did they get Smith from the Giants? See, I don't follow it as closely.
Steve Smith, our Carolina receiver, people buried him in the draft last year, and for some reason decided it was through. You didn't?
No, I had him on my team, Farrell, and he was huge.
Good job, brother. That's what we're looking for. Steve Smith last year was what you might get from Reggie Wayne this year, is a proven player buried in the lower part of the first 10 rounds. And Steve was going in high-stakes leagues last year at 8 and 9 rounds. People that took him had a very, very good chance of winning. Because, going back to your immediate question, what do I think about the Panthers? They live and die with Cam Newton. And I think it only gets better. I don't know if the fantasy numbers per game gets better, but we'll see Newton protect the ball better. We'll see him make better decisions now with his experience, and that may lead to more success on the field. But what a terrific year he had last year, guys.
Yeah, for sure. I like your
Carolina is pointing up in a lot of directions.
Carolina's, Cam Newton, they've got a couple great weapons on there for your fantasy team. I'm a big Steve Smith fan.
Yeah, what are your thoughts, Farrell, on Andrew Luck? What he might be for, is he a good person to take, in first round? Is that a good quarterback for you?
Now, if you take Andrew Luck in the first round, we're going to have to run you out of the field. Stop the draft.
I actually have friends who are already talking about it. They're that sold on Luck. I think it's dumb.
We've got to get these guys. We got to get the training wheels off of their fantasy football. But I'm glad you brought that up because we've talked about it before. His name's Luck, and he's got a horseshoe on his helmet. This is a good thing. We already got a vibe coming out of Indianapolis that people are very impressed with how he's moving forward with the offense and taking control of the team. There's commentary about him being an intelligent football player. Well, we already knew that. But now he's translating that to the field and results, making the players look good, looking as if he's been playing with them and has a continuity and a vibe with these guys that goes back for more than just a few days that he's been in camp. So, yes, Luck is moving up the list as a potential quarterback that you can use in a quarterback by committee. He was a 16th or 17th rounder. Now I'm saying about the 12th round will get you Andrew Luck, and on as an occasional bye week fill-in or as part of a quarterback by committee, it's beginning to make a little sense with the rookie quarterback in Indianapolis.
Yeah. You don't have to look any further, in my opinion, than what happened the last time the Colts started a great quarterback his rookie year. I think, didn't Peyton Manning maybe set the all-time record for interceptions? And he turned out to be great.
It was a rough year for Peyton Manning, but that was, how many years ago was that now?
99, I believe. Is that right?
Exactly. I was going to say 15, so that's 13. The way football is handled, the way college players are prepared now to move into the professional game, it's much different for a rookie quarterback now. So those were horrific numbers, and yes, it could happen again. But if you look at some of the quarterbacks that have come into the league, lately they're more prepared, they're more polished, they're more adaptive to the NFL system, and so will Luck be.
Yeah, for sure. I'm not a Colts fan. I'm a Browns fan, Farrell. I've been living just off the Tim Couch's dream when he left Kentucky.
Oh, my word.
I know, right?
Sounds
Right?
horrible.
I'm more of a fantasy player, more regardless, so I don't care about, honestly, the NFL, my Browns, what they do, because they're not going to do much. I know that. Trent Richardson's not going to be able to control the NFL like, a lot of people think. But I wanted to kind of ask you about the Peyton Mannings. I know since Kelly just brought up Peyton Manning, what about the Mannings in general? Are those two, obviously, Eli last season came out and said, I am a top-tier quarterback. And look at him. He went out and won his second Super Bowl. Would you take Eli over, maybe one of your top quarterback picks?
Yes, I would, guys. Eli has. I've lived and died with Eli in the drafts that I get to participate in. Unfortunately, as commissioner, I can't play in the KFFSC, which makes me sometimes very bitter since we've got the greatest fantasy football experience. But nevertheless, Eli has been a player that I absolutely have targeted in all my drafts in the last couple years and have benefited from having him. Now, this year he's moving up the draft. After you get through with the 5 stud quarterbacks, Rodgers, Brady, Breeze, Newton, and who's the 5th one? I'm leaving someone behind. But then comes Romo.
Maybe Phillip Rivers.
No, Rivers is further down too. But that's the second group.
Who you're thinking of?
Rivers.
Big Ben, maybe.
You're thinking of Philip Pennington, aren't you? I mean,
no, Big Ben's in that second group. Guys, not enough caffeine to remember the 5th one. I guess in radio we should lead with our 4 when we don't have the 5th.
It happens, Farrell. It happens.
But to specifically answer your question, Eli Manning has been a steal in the last 2 years, and he still brings great value to the equation. Probably 5th or 6th round this year. You're not going to steal him in the 10th round. Now this year, you're going to get Roethlisberger down there. You're going to get Cutler even a little later. And another player that I'm warming up to is Fitzgerald at Fitzpatrick at Buffalo.
Yeah.
And this is a quarterback that I look at the numbers and I see less interceptions this year. He had 24 touchdowns last year. I see less picks this year and bigger fantasy scores.
I actually picked up Fitzpatrick as my backup quarterback after week 2, I think, last season, and he ended up being a pretty good backup for me. Before we let you go, Farrell, because our man Derek Abney is coming up here in a few minutes, I wanted to ask you, give the listeners somebody and a veteran that you could go out and be a trustworthy guy to maybe not every week, but to fill him in.
At what position, folks?
Give me a wide receiver or tight end, regardless. Maybe a tight end, either or.
Okay, well, you got me warmed up about wide receiver. I'll give you 2. I'm looking at Robert Meacham, who has left New Orleans and has a good chance to be the number 1. You guys mentioned Phillip Rivers as we were searching for our 5th quarterback.
Tom Brady.
Let's stay in that situation. There's a very good quarterback there that had a little bit of a gunslinger mentality last year. I think he'll find in Meacham a little more polished receiver. Maybe in that old Derek Abney mode that can run the routes and do an exacting job. And I think that player is looking for a breakout season. So Robert Meacham will be available probably in the 7th or 8th round. Nate Washington is a veteran receiver that'll be climbing through the draft. I would say in the early drafts he's going between the 10th and the 13th. That's going to change.
Is he with Tennessee? Where's he at?
He's with Tennessee, and I thought Nate was a little older. I looked it up the other day. He's only 29. It's just been in the last 7 years that he's been in the league. Now, tight end. What are we thinking about there?
Antonio Gates, maybe. A big guy.
Antonio Gates is a stud tight end that appears to have overcome his issues with his feet, and when he does, he certainly has no issues with his hands. If you're going to find a veteran that may have a different look this year, there is looks like Brandon Pettigrew at Detroit will be available later in the draft, probably 8th or ninth round. Pettigrew, it looks like he's going to get more of the Detroit tight end touches. Last year, guys, the Lions threw the ball to the tight end over 160 times. Pettigrew shared that time on the field. This year, it looks like most of it's going to be his. He finished very, very strong in the season. So there's a tight end for you that could keep up the same situation where he left off last year.
Yeah, for sure. I'm a big. I've totally skipped his name right now. I'm a big 49er tight end.
Vernon Davis.
Vernon Davis.
You'll get real familiar with him because he's one of the stud tight ends in this league with the biggest upside, with a quarterback that I like better than most, who I think can get him the ball and will get him the ball.
Do you think Vernon Davis is the number one tight end out there this year? Is that what you said, Farrell?
No, sir. The number one tight end lives in two places. One of them New Orleans, one of them New England. And the number 3 tight end is his running buddy at New England. So that's Gronkowski and Hernandez at New England, and the ultra and multi-talented Jimmy Graham with the New Orleans Saints.
Both are, like you said, ultra-talented Jimmy Graham. He's a beast last year. Actually, Farrell, on our video show we do, on our show we have, it's on ihigh.com/KentuckySports. We actually have a picture of the ESPN The Body magazine of Gronkowski maybe showing a little too much. Everybody, all our viewers keep tuning in on there.
I personally don't think it's enough. Ask me.
That's my girl.
Farrell, love me some Gronk.
Farrell, last question. Brett Favre, where would you take him?
That's a good question. As players move to our draft on the 24th and the 26th, and we're talking fantasy football, that's what they need to do to get prepared, because we all share the same information.
Mm-hmm.
And we all have the same opportunity to get prepared and to understand how to perform in the draft. And it's open for competition for players of all different levels of experience. We had a rookie player in the league last year who finished 3rd overall. He was beaten out by a couple guys that played high-stakes fantasy football for over a decade.
Wow.
So it's a good mix of players that we have there. I think back to a draft a few years ago where a drafter took Jerry Rice in the 18th round, and Jerry had retired 2 years previously. So the best question is not that far off base. But being prepared for the draft means being prepared to perform for all 20 rounds, to understand our rules, and to understand where the players fit within the concept of a fantasy team. If you do that, it's going to take us almost 3.5 hours to draft a 20-round team. We've got lots of other fun things going on at the Horseshoe besides just the actual aspect of sitting at the chair and drafting it. It's going to be the most fun of your life, and you're still going to be having a great time when you're picking in that 20th round, just like you are in the first round.
So it's 3.5 hours. Will there be alcohol available? Because if I were there, I would need a drink for 3.5 hours.
Even though the Horseshoe is located in southern Indiana, it borders Kentucky, so we'll start with bourbon, and you can take it from there.
It's my kind of
draft. Not only will there be there's a full bar available and a great set of variety of food, and it'll be available to the players from our start of the draft all the way through all 3 days, starting the Friday night the 24th, Saturday the 25th, Sunday the 26th. We've got spaces open in the main event. We're shooting for 228 people, guys, 228 individual teams, and we're on our way. So anyone who's listening and anyone you know, send them that way.
I may do it. I'm not against it. I might actually try it.
There you go, for sure. Get on KFFSC.com or give Farrell a call. And again, Farrell, we have thanks to Jamie Cox at Simone Realtors. Give her a shout, 593-5454. And Farrell, as always, great segment. Check him out every Wednesday at 2 o'clock with Trevor Super Bacon Kelsey on your all's fantasy show, right?
There you go,
All
2
right.
o'clock Wednesdays afternoon. Trevor and I have had some of the greatest guests. This Wednesday we have Emil Cadlick, who is the true godfather of fantasy football, who publishes 4 different fantasy football magazines throughout the year, and he's loaded with information. It's going to be a great show on Wednesday.
For sure. Farrell, as always, we appreciate your time. I'll be talking to you throughout the week.
Thank you, guys. Have a nice one.
You too, Farrell. While we were talking to Farrell there as our weekly fantasy update, we got a little KaiSco text message to our text line. Matt, what's the text line number?
It's 502 265-6159.
Yeah, you can shoot us a text all day long. It goes directly to Matt's email, and so preferably 2 to 4 in the morning. Shoot us a text. We got a guy who's asking, Kelly, I'll bring it to you. Anybody disappointed that Brandon Phillips has not played in this series? He said it makes him question his toughness in a big series. Is that? I think no. I mean, it's a good question. We appreciate you texting, but no, he.
That sounds like
it's a mild calf strain.
You know what? It's August. September's right around the corner. I wouldn't test it.
Yeah, he's fine.
If you don't need it,
when you're winning, you don't need it.
Things are going well right now. It's tough to really try to call out one of the stars, one of the top 2 RBI guys on the team.
3.
But I've heard that before. That's not the first time I've heard that.
I hear it all over Cincinnati because they will find anything wrong.
Kentucky didn't win enough in the national championship, Danielle. It's there's always going to be those questions. It's fine. We like those questions. And yeah, we're going to get to our break though because we got somebody awesome. Farrell.
Derek Abney.
Come on, Farrell. Don't text me that during the show.
We've got somebody awesome coming on who I can guarantee anyone out there listening, he has more impressive YouTube highlight videos than you do.
No doubt. Derek Abney, former Cat. We're excited to have him on. Danielle's multiple crush. This is the Weekend Sports Buzz. We'll be right back.
Welcome back to the Weekend Sports Buzz.
Abney backing up. He'll get to return this one from his own 20. Circles off to the right. Gets a block. Cuts it up at the 25, 30, 35, 40. Licked out to the near sideline at the 50. Breaks a tackle. Just one man to beat. He's across the 30 to the 20. Derek Abney to the 10 to the 5 and into the end zone. Touchdown, Kentucky! And the Wildcats take the lead.
Let us know what you think. Give us a call on the Oxmoor Ford Lincoln Buzz Line at 384-1450.
I wish I was a little bit taller. I wish I was a baller. I wish I had a girl who looked good, I would call her. Wish I had a rabbit in a hat with a bat and a 6'4" parlor. I wish I was like 6'9" so I could get with Leoshi, cause she don't know me, but yo, she's really fine. You know,
we're back with the Weekend Sports Buzz. Check us out on 1450sportsbuzz.com and KentuckySports.co. Good stuff going on there. And of course, getting right into the Oxmoor Ford Lincoln Buzz Line. Derek Abney's on the line. How are you doing today, my man?
I'm doing great, guys. Thanks for having me. I first got to apologize about yesterday. I'm really sorry about missing the call.
It happens. If I'm correct, I'm going to have to just put it out there. You might have locked yourself out of your house.
I did just that. I was telling Matt that unfortunately, I missed your call, but I was out there about a half hour, 2 hours sitting in a lawn chair in my driveway. It was actually kind of peaceful, unplugged a little bit.
There you go. Get away from the technology world. That's it's all it is here. Danielle, we've just so you know, myself, Tyler Boyd, we got Kelly Patrick, and Danielle Chilton here. I'm pretty sure Danielle was a huge fan of you back in your prime.
I definitely was. Definitely was. You were my high school crush. I don't know how you feel about that, but I'm over here.
Well, I feel honored, Danielle. Thank you very much.
There you go. I remember we had you on down last year when we were doing our basement radio show, and I actually didn't get to be involved in that because I was actually throwing up in the bathroom. I was a little disappointed about that. So I'm excited to have you on, Derek. You're
a lot of good stories in this interview so far.
Yeah, we put it out there on the 1450 Sports Buzz. Obviously, Derek, you hold 5 NCAA records. You have 9 school records, 10 of those kick returns. We led in with I believe that was the punt return against Mississippi State where you set the record. Am I correct?
That's right. That was at home. That was my last touchdown and probably my favorite.
Yeah, I believe. I mean, how did that feel? I mean, obviously you heard the Leach going crazy. Well, I mean, how did it feel for your mind?
Well, first it was, these plays obviously go really fast, and you really don't have a lot of time to take it all in. But for some reason, this one was a long play to me as I'm going through it, and I remember feeling the energy of the fans, but also as I got closer to that end zone, kind of thinking in my head, analyzing what I wanted to do. And then I had, I had Hopewell there and Irvin Flowers, and I was just like, man, we're just going to go in together. So I just remember thinking, hey, if I got a guy between me and the defender, I'm just going to follow him. So that's kind of the thought process that went through my mind real quick, and I knew at that point, if I had both of us going in, we were going to make it into the end zone.
Derek, this is Kelly. How are you doing?
I'm doing great, Kelly.
Good deal. Yeah, I agree. Watching it from at home on my couch, not just that time, but I mean it was amazing how you would just kind of pause, you just sprint around, and you said that one took an extra long time in your mind and in your memories. But just watching you out there was just amazing. I loved it. One of the things. Oh, you're welcome.
He's a U of L fan. Derek.
Lots of praise here for you. Danielle's childhood crush, and I'm a Louisville fan, and I loved watching you return kicks.
You're a man of the people, Derek.
There you go. Universal, but I think it's because a little bit when I talk with people, they really are surprised that you're sitting back there on a punt. And you're kind of looking up in the, up in the air, just waiting for people to just come and destroy you.
Yes.
And I think people can just kind of relate that how much courage that takes, and just kind of, they can say, well, that'd be kind of hard for me to do, sitting back there waiting for somebody to take my head off. But that, I loved it. That's what I lived on. That was my favorite, and unfortunately, that's what I did my best at.
Yeah, you were obviously great at that. Let me ask you, what have you been up to since Kentucky? Are you coaching football? Am I correct?
I've actually done a couple camps.
Okay.
And they're called the Champ Camp. That Champ Kelly used to be a DB for us. He's actually the assistant director of pro personnel with the Broncos.
Uh-huh.
He does a not-for-profit football camp in the summers up in Lexington and one in Florida and one in Denver. And I've just been a part of that. But besides that, I'm doing engineering work for an energy infrastructure company here in Charleston, South Carolina, and I've got a 2.5-year-old daughter. And I'm married.
There you go. Very successful. Everybody around here except for me and Danielle are married, and we're the young bucks, but it's okay. It happens. Obviously, we're 28 days away from the big rivalry game, Kentucky-Louisville.
Mm-hmm.
It's here in the city. When you were a part of the rivalry, how did you partake it? Was it huge for you? Was it one of the bigger games, or was it just another game on the schedule?
It was a big game for us. Absolutely. Obviously, the in-state rivalry with Louisville, and we had some interesting games when I was there with the rain delay that sort of changed the whole momentum. And
yes.
And obviously, when you're in-state, it's just that pride thing. We always have the Tennessee game, which we always happen to be at the other end of until recently, but the Louisville game was probably, of the two, bigger to us.
Any specific memory from any of the games against Louisville that you can, off the top of your head?
Well, unfortunately, one after a game.
Okay.
That one with the thunderstorm, and I was sitting next to Sanders, our kicker, and that was with the missed field goal. And for him, he knew how big of a moment that was,
mm-hmm.
and how long people would remember that, and so. For me, just something that I just kind of I had to put myself in his position and know that it wasn't just one play of the game that got us where we were.
For sure.
And just let him know that, And so that was one thing that stuck out in my mind. I had a punt return down the sideline. I remember that was one of my first ones, and I remember that one in a Louisville rivalry. And those were two things, one good, one bad, that stuck out in my mind.
Yeah, for sure.
Derek, I know that, once again, it is Kelly. I'm a Louisville fan. Going into the UK U of L game on September 2nd this year, Louisville is definitely favored. What are your feelings on that specific game this year, and does Kentucky have a shot, in your opinion?
Well, we're at Louisville this year, right?
Yes.
Yeah. It's going to be a difficult game, but like they always say, rivalry games, you kind of throw that out the window a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
I know we've had a very successful career. When I talk to people and try to relay what happens with winners, and unfortunately on the flip side, sometimes if you can't get over the hump and are winners, is they find ways to win. And this program, Kentucky, is a winning program. We had a rough year last year, but overall, when games are close, they can win them. So I feel like that ability puts us in the game with Louisville, and anyone could win. So not only it being a rivalry game, but the fact that the Kentucky program, I know the fans kind of have some grumblings here recently, but they do win games. And those two things, I feel good for Kentucky.
I know that I personally liked how Kentucky stuck with Rich Brooks. They kind of had a couple rough years. They stuck with him. It ended up coming to fruition that it was worth it, and they had some good years there. What do you think Joker Phillips needs to do this season in order to be retained?
Well, you can it's hard. He obviously doesn't have as much time as, say, a new face would, just because being under Brooks' program. I know, I'm one of these people that are a little different in their feelings about. I hear about Mitch Barnhart. I think he is a fantastic AD, not only for football, but in the UK athletics as a whole. And so I put a lot of trust in Mitch and his decisions with Joker. But but what it boils down to, guys, and Danielle, is you got to have W's, and that's just that's life, and that's UK football, and that's college football in general. So we need to have some wins, I think, and I think Joker understands that too.
Yeah, I totally agree with you. I'm a Joker guy. I've said it over the past couple months being on the show here that regardless, in my opinion, I know wins are the key to success, key to being retained, as Kelly would ask. I would like to see Joker, even if he pulled out 3-4 wins this year, stick around for at least another year because his guys are now getting into the mold. I'm hearing they have SEC speed, SEC size with these guys that are coming in. I'd like to at least have his guys get an opportunity. Derek, before we do let you go, we're kind of getting up here against this break. I wanted to ask you, Kentucky beat Tennessee last year for the first time in years. What are your thoughts? I mean, how excited were you for the program? I mean, I know that's kind of they just owned us for 27 games, I believe.
Yeah, it was great. I mean, I was so happy. We were so close so many times when I was at Kentucky.
Oh yeah, so many.
Not just Tennessee, but a lot of different games. But I was so happy for them and so happy for Coach Phillips and the program. And there's no qualifying that win. It was a win, a W for UK football, which is so important to us. And I felt I wish I could have been on the field to be a part of it. And I was so happy for us and me and everybody else that has been involved with UK football.
Yeah, for sure. Now I'm pretty sure we got a special date coming up during the Western Kentucky game weekend, September 14th and 15th. You were getting inducted into the Hall of Fame, right?
That's right. That's right. And I was I got a call from Mitch Barnhart. It was the first time I ever talked to him on the phone, and so I was kind of wondering why Mitch was calling me. It was really it was such an honor. I really didn't think my playing days were done. Almost a decade now. And
that's crazy
to just get a call about this and be a part of such an elite group of people. I was really humbled, and so getting that call was very, very special to me.
For sure, you're going to be joining Leroy Edwards, J.B. Holmes, Jeff Keener. Let's see here, a Clayton Moss, and Nancy Scranton joining the Hall of Fame. I'm sure you'll be. I mean, like you said, you're honored. You can't wait to do that. I mean, I'm surprised it didn't come sooner. I guess maybe it's the 12-year limit to get you in there, right?
I don't know. I was just happy to be part of it, guys.
Yeah,
very happy.
For sure. Well, again, Derek, we appreciate you, getting on with us today. No big problem about yesterday. We appreciate you coming on. We'll get you on down the road again. You're always a great guest.
Absolutely. I owe you. Absolutely. Get me on next time for sure.
Awesome, Derek. You have a great week.
You too. Bye, guys.
Good stuff there. What a nice guy.
Yeah, I was gonna
He
say,
said my name.
Could you have a nicer guy than Derek? I see. I didn't even get to, like I said, put it out there early. I was throwing up on the last interview. I didn't even get to witness how awesome the interview was, Matt. You look like you're about to say something there. No, you got to go to break. Okay, let's do that. We'll get to our break. Get on if you missed the interview with Derek Abney or Farrell Elliott, or if you missed your Mark Blankbaker cards update, get on iHide.com/Kentucky Sports. You got the podcast on there, and check us out on 1450sportsbuzz.com. We'll be right back for the final segment of the Weekend Sports Buzz.
I wish I had a girl who looked good, I would call her. Wish I had a rabbit in a hat with a bat and a 6'4" parlor. I wish I was a little bit taller. I wish I was a baller. I wish I had a girl who looked good, I would call her. Wish I had a rabbit in a hat with a bat and a 6'4" parlor. I wish I had a brand new car.
Welcome back to the Weekend Sports Buzz. Let us know what you think. Give us a call on the Oxmoor Ford Lincoln Buzz Line at 384-1450.
What you gonna do with all that junk inside the trunk?
I'ma get you drunk, get you love drunk off my hump, 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 my lovely little lumps. Check it out. I drive these brothers crazy.
We're back at the Weekend Sports Buzz.
This used to be my party song when I was like 21.
I would have never guessed. Oxmoor Ford Lincoln Buzz Line, 384-1450. Give us a shout. Want to get some birthdays. Obviously, you mentioned Patrick Ewing. It's his birthday. Patrick Ewing. You got a Cardinal pitcher for Mark Mulder. Carl Crawford, baseball. Paul Creamer, one of the hottest golfers out there. And then Adam Yauch, the MCA with the Beastie Boys. How do you pronounce that?
Adam Yauch.
Adam Yauch. Okay, you can see any history in there you want to get out there? Maybe some.
It's also my college roommate's birthday today.
Yeah, we don't care. At Berlin Olympics, since we got the Olympics going on, you got Jesse Owens, his third Olympics. Yeah, his third medal in 50 or 60s, whenever it was 50s. But we talked about him.
We don't care.
We
don't care.
We don't care about you. Let's just keep going back and forth.
In 1979, the Phillies, at the time he played for the Phillies, but it was Pete Rose collected his National League record, 2,427th career single.
That's great. He's a monster. That's absurd number of singles right there. For Danielle, the music, Marilyn Monroe was found dead today. Did you know that?
She wasn't really music. She was acting.
Well, yeah.
She did sing My Heart Belongs to Daddy.
1962. She was discovered lying nude on her bed, face down with a telephone in one hand. Empty bottles of pills prescribed to treat her depression. They lit her around the room.
sounds like my normal Friday night. No, I'm just kidding.
Oh
JK.
my God!
Just kidding.
Just check Danielle and check her Twitter out because she's kind of not kidding.
No, I don't do pills.
Bengals fans. Danielle's got her Andy Dalton shirt on.
Going to practice.
Real
after
uplifting news here. In 1991, the founder of the Bengals, Paul Brown, passed away.
And the Browns. And the Browns.
And the Browns. You're right.
Founder of both Cincinnati pro football.
One of the truly great football minds ever.
I will be in his namesake stadium after this on my way up to the open practice
today
from 4 to 6:15 or something.
Awesome.
Yeah, I think you're right. For our man Carolina Steve, we got the NASCAR going on at Pocono, kicking off. I don't know what time, 1 o'clock, I believe. If I remember correct, it might be 4. Former Kentucky pitcher Joel Blanton was traded away from Phillies, which is great because they're awful, to the Dodgers. Kelly, let me ask you something about the Dodgers. Okay? They went bankrupt last year, right?
Mm-hmm. That's true.
Where is all this money coming from? Because they just put a waiver claim in for Cliff Lee. They just brought in, who did they bring in over the past couple weeks?
Henry Ramirez.
Where are they getting that type of cash after going bankrupt?
I think they were purchased.
They were, but out of the cellar that quick, huh?
Apparently. I mean, that's a huge market. That's LA, so I mean, I guess.
Which I tweeted yesterday after Reds won. Who needs a big-time market when little-time Cincinnati is just the best team in baseball?
Yeah. I love it. I love that little town, like you say, little town Cincinnati has a better record than the Yankees or the Angels or anybody. I love it.
It's amazing. Going into the who went into the Pro Football Hall of Fame, former Cats, older Cats fan, I remember, Dermonte Dawson. Second Wildcat ever put into the Hall of Fame.
I watched that yesterday.
Did you? Was it a good?
I actually watched something.
I don't know who the first Wildcat to be put in was. Does anyone out there? Call us 384-1450 if you know who the first Kentucky Wildcat to go into the Pro Football Hall of Fame was. I don't know who it was. I'm trying to think now.
I saw it yesterday. I just totally didn't write it down on the document. Andy Murray. He just pulled out an Olympic gold medal. First
straight
sets waxed Roger Federer. Was
great. That the gold medal game?
That was. It was the gold medal game or match, whatever they call it. That's huge for Britain getting the gold in there. They're third in medals overall. Obviously the home countries always get upgraded to just I don't know why. You get the fan support and everything like that. Just being in your home country, that's great. Andy Murray, congrats! You won in England. I know it still doesn't count.
Every year they always want him to win.
It still doesn't count to the Wimbledon. You're all still since the 40s, but at least you got it, in the, what's the stadium called? Wimbledon, is it called?
It's called Wimbledon, yeah.
Yeah, Wimbledon.
One thing we didn't touch on is the former Kentucky high school quarterback, Zeke Pike, went to Auburn, was kicked off for a PI.
I said DUI yesterday, and I will recant that statement. And Kelly corrected me on that. PI.
It was a PI, not a DUI. But he now apparently which is almost hard to believe, is just going to switch positions and will be a tight end. Not this upcoming season, but the following season.
And you are all about this, right?
I'm all about it.
You're all about the guy that got a PI that's got an issues in Northern Kentucky up and down his roster, been covered up a lot of stuff. Coaches I know say he's the biggest prick on the field you'll ever come across, and et cetera, et cetera. You're excited about this?
Should I name who else people have said that about? Homer Bailey, Matt Latos.
Are we talking professional or college?
No, those were their college. That was Matt Latos in college.
Are we talking baseball or big-time market football? Come on, Kelly. Get serious with yourself.
Big-time market football. What? Okay.
A big-time market
Break it
football.
up, guys.
Big-time sports.
Break it up. I don't want to.
I'm on board all for the Zeke Pike thing. If he acts out, cut him. 2 weeks into it, no sweat off our back. Let him go, just like the Willie Williams.
The guy that robbed him at a gas station with a machine gun, Danielle.
Well, here's the thing. Will Louisville do whatever it takes to win? Is that what we're,
Yeah, is that the real thing?
By picking up someone who criminal because he got a PI. Are you kidding me?
Criminal.
She's talking about Willie Williams. That's what she's talking about. Criminal.
Oh, I thought the topic was Zeke Pike.
No, Willie Williams, criminal, machine gun robber.
They cut him when he acted up.
They brought him in, though, in the first place. That's a joke.
Machine gun robber. Are you just making stuff up? He didn't rob someone with a machine gun.
He went into a gas station with high-profile rifles, machine guns, AK, and AR. That's a high-profile weapon.
Okay, well, regardless, Zeke Pike had a couple charges.
Got kicked out of Auburn.
One charge. He got kicked out of Auburn. Obviously had some attitude problems as an 18-year-old. And Charlie Strong is somewhat going out on a limb and saying, we'll give you a second chance to come play for us. I am 100% behind it. Cut him a week into it, no problem. And if he gets his act together and he does well, then he could be a really good player.
Who's your tight
I
ends?
love it.
Y'all got a good tight end, so he won't see the field
We got
for a few
Nate
years.
Nord as our starting tight end this year. We got a guy who's sitting out this year also, who is transferring from Florida.
Yes,
I forget his name, but he was a real highly touted tight end prospect. I like it. I like having talented guys on the roster. I'm behind it 100%.
I know all the guys we talked to yesterday are not behind it, but that's fine. You could be right. I could be wrong.
No, I'm not saying that I'm right or wrong. I'm saying I'm behind the idea of giving someone a chance, and if 2 days into it he's a punk,
then you're wrong. Then you're wrong if he gets cut within a month.
I'm not
wrong. It's been a great show. We thanks Mark, thanks to Farrell, and thanks to Derek Abney. It was a great show. Danielle's going to the Cincinnati Bengals, getting up there. Me and Kelly are going to go watch
my boyfriend
the Reds.
Andy.
There we go. Thanks for y'all listening. Check us out next weekend, every Saturday, 9 to 11, every Sunday, 10 to 12. This is the Weekend Sports Buzz.